Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1606, written by irrelevantzillennial, Geocache glitch or time-twisting hitch. My dad and I like to go geocaching. If you're not familiar, geocaches are small containers hidden in public areas, usually with a logbook and sometimes small trinkets inside. You upload the GPS coordinates to a website with some information about the cache. Then people will look for them, sign the logbook, and maybe trade out trinkets. There's an app now that adds some functionality. Ability to add photos, notes, hints, that kind of thing. We go to look for a specific cache one day. We look everywhere, but can't find it. Frustrating, but it happens. We go back a week or two later, can't find it. It's been marked as found semi-recently. Otherwise, we would just assume it had gone missing. Happens sometimes. We finally give up and go elsewhere to find a couple other caches. A couple weeks later, we're out caching and decide to go back to try one more time. I check the app and see it was found since we last tried. We look around for a long time, use a hint left by the most recent finder, and finally find it. I pull out my pen to mark the log, and when I unfurl it, the world stops for a moment. Because I see my dad's and my name written at the very end of the log, in my handwriting. I call my dad over and we're looking at it together. We're both confused and freaked out. I take a look again at the app and realize that the last find was from our account, and the hint we followed was one that we had left for ourselves. It's been years and we still talk about it some. It's one of those things where, no matter how many people I tell this story to, I kind of assume people don't believe me because it's just so weird. And such an obvious merging of timelines. So it's nice to talk to my dad about it, because I know 100% he believes me. I think we looked at the dates and our first find was on the date that we had last looked for it, prior to the second find. But we both definitely would not have forgotten finding it, because it had been driving us crazy wondering where it was. Honestly, I'm not sure why we didn't just chalk it up to a cache that had gone missing. We both just couldn't stop thinking about it. I also don't know how I didn't notice the username from the recent find was our username until after we found the cache. Case file 1706, Geocache glitch or time-twisting hitch. So I've never heard of geocaching, but it sounds pretty interesting. Kinda like a mystery egg hunt, but on digital scale. The handwriting is what throws me for a loop. If it was just digital information, that can fairly easily cross between multiple universes, so you had solved it in a different universe and then came over here. But this is beyond that. The handwriting was yours. It was your own hint. I mean, you would kind of know if it was really your own hint. If you read it, it's like, yeah, I would have written that. So unless it was temporary multiverse sight, so you just saw a universe where you had solved it. But then when you come back to this one, it wouldn't be solved, so you could go back and check it online. It's almost some kind of weird, wonky Mobius strip of time, where you're in a loop that isn't related to cause and effect. The Merovingian in The Matrix would be very displeased with effect preceding cause. Bizarre. Case file number 1707, written by Blue-Eyed Magic, Candi's reflection and the time connection. So back in the early 90s, I worked as a bartender in a hotel lounge. People would occasionally call me Candi, and when I said that wasn't my name, they would say that I had a twin. My twin, named Candi, was a nurse at the local hospital. Now, I have heard about people looking so alike that they could be twins, but I was pretty sure I didn't look like this woman. I have a very distinct look. One day I'm tending bar and a guy calls my name, and I turn around to take his drink order. This man is sitting at the bar with me. I was looking at myself. Absolutely identical, from hairstyle and color to my eyes and very distinct nose. I mean, it was as if I was looking into a mirror. All except the clothes. She was in scrubs. I felt so odd. It was like an out-of-body experience. I remembered vaguely something about seeing your doppelganger causing a paradox, and that one of you had to go. The woman didn't say a word. She looked as perplexed as me. The guy ordered the drinks. I turned to the prep area and fixed the drinks. When I turned back, they were gone. I figured that this woman must have been the woman named Candi that I had been mistaken for. But man, when people said I had a twin, I never thought it would actually be my twin, in the same town that I moved to. I double-checked, and my mom, as far as I know, did not give birth to twins. Even weirder part of this whole thing is that I ended up moving to a different town, becoming a nurse. I wonder if I didn't see my future self that day in the bar. Case file 1707, Candi's reflection and the time connection. So yeah, the theme of the day indeed, time. And I view time as a sequential snapshot of reality, every frame layered like a video. Now, our decisions still impact those frames and the future frames to come, but maybe you can, in some cases, alter where the frames are placed. And you can only alter it from a potential future. But maybe indeed you are most likely, most probable to become a nurse. And maybe this is all triggered from space-time portals. I don't know, honestly. Is it willed? It doesn't really make sense to me. Why would someone care if you saw yourself being a nurse later on? Why would your name be Candi? Some anomalies going on. The you from a future from a different universe too? I mean, it's all possible, I suppose. It's very hard to say. But I'm trying to think of it. How would I feel if that happened to me? If I saw a picture-perfect me right in front of myself, and then they just vanish quickly after? I don't know. The doppelganger time weirdness going on. It would be difficult to handle, for sure. But I would try to strike up a conversation with myself. I mean, would you? Be hard to resist. Case file number 1708, written by Milo5432. Lip gloss and shopping chaos. I was just in Dollar General shopping for some items. I placed my purse in the front of the compartment where I usually place it. I shopped around for like 15 minutes, picking up some random items I was shopping for. Some of them include different makeup items, specific lip gloss, shades, eyeshadow colors, etc., body soaps and specific bath bomb scents that I had picked out, some snacks and candies along with some grocery items. There's about 15 to 20 items total. So I go to the self-checkout and scan everything in my cart and bag it, then go to grab my purse. It's not there. I freak out for a minute, thinking maybe I took it out. Did I leave it in one of the aisles? Or second-guessing myself, I thought, maybe I never brought it in the first place? So I tell one of the associates at the checkout counter that I may have left my bag in one of the aisles, and asked him, can I leave my bag of scanned items at the self-checkout stand? Then I scanned for my purse in the aisles I went in before. I literally walk a few feet away and see another cart sitting right around the corner with my purse in it, in the front compartment. The cart is full of the same items that I had just scanned and placed into my bag from the other cart, the one I brought up to the checkout with me. Literally all the same items down to the same shades of lip glosses, eyeshadows, same exact soaps and candies and groceries. I started freaking out and pulled this cart over to my other one at the self-checkout just to compare the items because I was just in a state of disbelief. And it's all the same items that I had just scanned. I just don't get it. How were those two carts full of my exact items that I had picked out? And how had I ended up with the other cart without my purse in it when I got to the self-checkout, when I never stepped away from my cart while I was shopping? I mean, if I had accidentally grabbed someone else's cart in the aisles and brought that one up instead of my own, that would make sense. But this cart I ended up with had all the same items that my other one had, down to the lip gloss shades and everything. Case file 1708, lip gloss and shopping chaos. Okay, this is one of the craziest glitches I've ever read. It's not dangerous or directly shocking like the first second you read it, but when you take it into account, this is like duplicate object phenomena, which is pretty common, but on steroids, taken to another plane of existence, But I was trying to think, how could I incorporate a solution to this in the mundane realm? Because you know how I like to do it. I like to solve these things, but what if there was this, I guess it's a prank, sort of, but you weren't told, which I don't get, but maybe some people are crazy and want to prank people and never tell them. But anyways, what if someone in the back room was checking the security cameras, observing what you bought, had an accomplice on radio, and they would, after you left the area, go back and fill up a card with exactly what you bought, which they were seeing on the security camera, and then left the card somewhere that you knew you would go back to search for your purse. Of course, they also somehow took your purse from you, from right under you without you ever leaving the card. So that's pretty improbable, but it's kind of funny to think about because it's not impossible. Some of these people might be responsible for these glitch stories that we're reading. Not all of them at all, but I think sometimes it could be possible. That's kind of funny. If you're going to prank someone like that, that's awesome. I approve, but tell them after the fact. That's all, Don't gaslight them for the rest of their lives, My gut says it's just the universe being wonky, but hey, prank, always a possibility. Now time for the joke of the day. The parrot with an attitude. A man buys a parrot from a pet store. The parrot has a bad attitude and uses inappropriate language. The man tries everything to change the bird's attitude and clean up its language, but nothing works. Finally, in a moment of frustration, he puts the parrot in the freezer. For a few minutes, he hears the bird squawking and kicking. Then suddenly, all is quiet. Fearing he has hurt the bird, the man opens the freezer. The parrot calmly steps out and says, "I believe I may have offended you with my rude and inappropriate language. I am sincerely remorseful and will endeavor to correct my behavior." Astonished, the man is about to ask what changed the parrot's behavior when the bird continues. "May I ask, what did the chicken do?" The first time I read this, it's so perfect. Yeah. The chicken is in the freezer, dead, the chicken bird, and like, I don't want to be dead too. Don't eat me. Don't eat me. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.